Now let's face the truth. If you are performing the same old actions and expecting a new result in your life, now that's going to be bizarre. Now if you are a person who is wanting to explore life, you want to see newer dimensions in your life and want to have a different outcome as a result, then you got to be doing something new today. It can be learning a new skill, honing the skills that you already have. Now, when it comes to communication, now communication is a factor which we do on a daily basis, right? So right from early in the morning till the time we crash on our bed, we are communicating. So it could be you are convincing your boss about an idea. It could be that you are an entrepreneur and you are reinforcing the power of your products and services to your customer, your client. You could be a husband who is convincing an idea to your wife, or the vice versa. Or it could be that you are a parent and convincing on your travel plans that destination A is better than destination B. Where in all these spheres of your life, communication is one thing that you got to excel. And this particular video will help you because I'm going to deconstruct how to identify those fears to become a fearless business communicator. Because when you identify the enemy, devouring the enemy is going to be very easy, right? So you got to be identifying those fear factors and become cognizant of the fact that you have all these enemies and what are the action plans to destroy those enemies so that you can become a powerful business communicator in all times. Okay, so let us understand what all should we be understanding to identify. Okay, so first one is listen very carefully. Of course, we do hear a lot of things right from the whole day, right? Practically the whole day, we are listening or we are just hearing different types of conversations. It could be your neighbor's conversation, it could be your own, your children, it could be a news channel that you are hearing in the background. You could be listening to a music. There are hundreds of things that are happening. For your just to tell a fact that there are about 60,000 thoughts that come across a person's day. Now that is really amazing fact to understand, but that is the truth. Now we got to be very selective in what is that content that I'm going to listen for the day or for that particular moment. Be present in that moment, and it could be of various listenings, right? You want to listen what's running in your mind. Yeah, what is that self-talk that is happening in your mind? Yeah, is it positive or is it negative? Now you have to be very cognizant of that fact. Yeah, more to it in the cognizant sector, where I'm going to talk about what is that you need to be filling inside to feed your brain. Internal listening is very crucial. And when it comes to positive listening internally, now that is going to booster your activities. External listening, you must be reading a minimum of 40 to 50 pages of positive information on a daily basis. Audible books are there, right? So you can go just on audio and switch on that Audible, the favorite book that you want to listen to. Now that is again a positive listening. Now whatever you're feeding inside your brain, now you have to be very, very cautious about that, because whatever the input goes, the output is also equivalent. So you have to be very aware of that fact, and you got to identify the root cause ever that you had experienced as a as a child, in your childhood. Yeah, it could be, I'm talking in terms of if you are really fearful in communicating an idea, well, it can root back to your childhood days. Maybe I can remember one of my conversations that I had with my art teacher, right? So one day I complete my homework. I go to him and say, Master, this is my homework. Please see and correct my notebook. And he looks at it and sees the most pathetic drawing ever. And he just stares at me and gives a one tight slap on my cheeks. And ever since, I hate art. I hate art classes. That is the extent that your experience as a child can have an effect on you. Now, even now, I might not be really good at art, but I'm very good at visual arts when it comes to digital posters, poster making, video making. I'm really good at it because I made peace with my past. Now, let me tell you the incident that happened in my recent past to understand why is that I'm hating art. It's such a beautiful thing that we can ever have in our lives, right? So uh, I might not be very good at drawing stuff, having all of those collaterals done on on graphics, and I'm really good at it. And I really thank God that I had peace with my past. Now you got to identify what are those factors which made you fearful in speaking. I can also remember one of those incidents that happened in my school auditorium. There were about 7 to 800 students, all the children assembled in an auditorium, and there was a kind of there was a debate competition that was going on. What happened is my friend and I were talking and giggling while the show was happening. I mean, there was some speaker on the stage, and it was that contestant's time to talk, and we were here, talking and giggling and very mischievous. So one of those English teachers of mine, she called upon the stage, and as a mark of punishment, she told, "Well, what is that you are talking so intensely and you are making fun of things? Now there are 800 people in front of you. Now start talking whatever you want." And she literally made me talk in front of those 800 audience. It was completely impromptu, but I really made it. I spoke for about 1 minute or so, and that moment was really thrilling. And that even the teacher there thought, oh, okay, it's not a when I spoke for about a minute. Now she was also stunned by what I performed on that day. Well, she thought it was a punishment to me. Well, I made that as my blessing. Yeah. And soon after that particular program got over, there were many people who came and congratulated me on that, and I was really thrilled. And that is how I started to identify that I'm really good at speaking. Then I started making many speeches, and I was a part of the Toastmasters Club and other things. So it goes on like that. Now you got to identify those incidents in your life which made you sad, which made you really happy. Identify those so that you can identify that the problem right at the roots and make peace with it. Yeah. In my masterclass that I'm going to conduct, I'll be talking about some powerful tools that you can visit in order to identify yourself much better. Yeah. So make sure you subscribe to the channel over here, and also hit the bell icon. I will be in touch with you. Just see what are all those things rumbling in your mind about what ifs, what not, what if people think something bad about me, what if my speech goes wrong, what if my cousin has a look at my speech. Yeah, so there are so many things that run in your mind even before the act can happen. Now, if you start thinking about those things that people might think of, then what will people think of? You got to answer that for yourself. Yeah. So just break all those fears in you, saying that, oh, I'm very shy, I'm very timid in front of a camera, I cannot speak very boldly. All these negative affirmations make you more and more get into that negative loop. You got to come out of it, because right now it is time for us to hone a new skill in the market, because that is what is making people famous. That is what is making people earn money. That is the thing which is making businesses grow, right? You know what I'm talking about? Video making. Yeah, so if you can bust that fear of staring at the lens of the camera and start talking about, of course in a phased manner, and the whatever the intent that you go online, now that is most important. Okay, let us see what things we need to be cognizant of while we are talking in front of the audience, in front of the public, in front of your friend, whoever it is, whatever the situation is. Number one thing is you got to understand the subject matter. You got to understand your external and internal environment. Now, the second one is to accept the fact that you are still a beginner. If you still To accept the fact that you are good at something, to accept the fact that you are pro at some activity, and thereby you're going to be victorious. So you need to understand and accept the reality as they are. We got to understand things as they are and accept the reality. And if things go wrong, just laugh it off. Why you want to take it, carry it on your head? So as what I just mentioned, if you think about log kya kahenge, what will people think of, then what are you leaving for people to think of? So that is very, very important. So if there is any mistakes that happen along the way, then you got to just carry on, laugh it off, and say, hey, everyone's everyone's human. Humans are to err, right? So you got to understand that fact as well. Take massive actions. Of course, you don't want to be the same like what were you yesterday. Your speech, what you delivered yesterday, must be much better tomorrow or today. You got to take those massive actions to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. Okay, so that takes us to the third element, that is called the action. And the first action is to quickly get along with those people of similar interests. Now you go get a form a group. If you don't find anyone, then form a group of like-minded people where you will find that his interest and my interest really match. Okay, in order to learn this new skill or hone this new skill, the skill that I already have, and scale it up. Yeah, that is one fact. The second one is perfection is a myth, and I've explained that to you. Now, perfection, if you are looking for that perfect moment, that perfect day, that's never going to come. If that was the day that I was waiting for, then I wouldn't be making this video. True or true, right? So I know that I am still making it to the mark, to the path of perfection. I'm yet to be there, and this is the fact, and everyone can see through, right? So you got to understand, accept, laugh it off, take massive actions. And I've got already a group of people of similar interests, and we are working and helping each other grow. And we all understand that perfection is a myth, and we are already on to that action plan. We have a perfect step-by-step action plan in order to build our empire. Just like how a big monument has to be built, it can't just happen overnight like this, right? It has to be built brick by brick by brick by brick. So you need to have that step by step by step by step actions in order to um, rule over your domain. You become an expert in your domain, right? Take those baby steps. Never, never underestimate those small activities that you will be doing for that particular day, even if it is like for 1 or 2 minutes. That's completely powerful when you see the growth of it in about 6 months, in about a year. Never ever underestimate baby steps. Live in the present, because we waste our time in dwelling in the past or thinking about the future, and we are never in the present. So if that is the kind of situation that we are into, then it's going to be difficult, because we have to understand that I don't have control over the past, and I have a very less control of my future, but I have full control about what is happening now, and therefore it is called present. Present means something very precious. It is a gift to us, right? So we got to be living in the present and do those things as it comes. I mean, face those challenges on a daily basis as they come, right? So, you got to do those small little stuff on a daily basis and make sure that you always be on track on achieving the goal straight from the heart, right? So, if you are completely dual in mind, you know, or if there is no alignment between what you are thinking and what you are speaking and what your actions are, then it's going to be a big zero, right? So everyone can see through it. So you got to be straight from your heart, and that is why you will have that deep impact in the people's lives, as and when you are talking straight from your heart and nothing else. All of those jazzy and glittery looking videos, or it could be something else, those eloquent languages that you got to use in the language. Now, all of those becomes a sideline. However, it is important, but it is not as prominent as talking straight from your heart, right? So you got to identify your niche, and that is what I'm going to explain to you in detail as to how you can learn this new skill of being a business communicator, and why I'm talking about being very specific about business communication. Why? Because you can monetize on the skill that you already have, or you want to learn it, right? So I'm going to give you a step-by-step process into learning how you can become a fearless business communicator and earn at the same time. You can monetize your skill, leave a legacy of digital assets. Seventh point is feel the fear and do it anyway, because fear is good, right? Fear is good in one sense that it'll keep you on your toes to deliver your best. Even the best of the orators, when they go on stage or while they are addressing the public, well, they are very nervous. When you talk about stars, like even in India, if you're talking about stars like Amitabh Bachchan or Tony Robbins, for that matter, the world's best trainer, well, if he is going on stage, he says that there's some kind of a fear factor, but I do it anyway. So that fear is completely different from being fearful of not being able to perform. Now, this fear is completely about giving the best of you no matter what comes your way, right? So this is the exact model that I want you to apply it in your lives, and therefore I just had this small thing that I wanted to share with you all. Go and implement this. You want to take a screenshot of it, I'm very happy if you can do it, and take those massive action. If you are a person who want to monetize on the skill that you already have, and create an online business of your own, then you can contact me by clicking on the link below, or you can subscribe to my Facebook group. It's not going to be a get rich quick scheme, but I'm going to give you a very powerful proven business model that can help you monetize like never before. Go for it. Type in the comment box below, what did you feel, and what is that action that you're going to take after watching this particular video, right? So just type in the comment box and I'll be very eager to receive and reply to your comment. Thank you and have a great day.